On this episode of the Soul Twin Stars podcast.
Like little pancakes?
Oh.
That would feel just fine in your underwear.
That pocket, young men, if you're listening, is for our crystals.
And aromatherapy.
Scammers be scamming.
Scammers be scamming on all scams. If you want to get your man excited, they love cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg. That's the combo. And a little bit of clove. That is the combo that drives men, apparently, insane.
Hi, I'm Lady Shadowe, a witch with much to share, stirring the cauldron with magical self-care.
Hi, I'm Peaceful Nik, a medium divine. I chat with the dead and interpret every sign.
We are Soul Twin Stars, best friends through it all.
From spells to healing, we're answering the call.
From moon cycles to menopause and making peace with the dead.
We aren't afraid to talk about what's rarely said.
So tune in each week to get raw, real, and wise.
Let's talk about a spiritual life with absolutely no disguise. Welcome to the Soul Twin Stars podcast, Uninhibited Spirituality. Peaceful Nik and Lady Shadowe here. We would like to first and foremost thank our sponsors for this episode. Thank you to Beans and Buttercream Bakery. Delicious homemade treats shipped anywhere. Call 417-973-2352. And Abernathy Photography, based in southwestern Kentucky, a professional and stellar company providing drone photography in both local and destination weddings. Visit abernathyphotography.com. Author Mary Ray's self-reflection workbook on conquering shame and guilt, Tell the Devil to Go to Hell, an interactive memoir, is available on Amazon.com. Craving delicious Italian cuisine? You can find it right here in Westchester County, New York at Fino Restaurant. That's Fino Restaurant at One Baltic Place in Croton-on-Hudson, New York. All of our sponsors are linked up on our Soul Twin Stars podcast Facebook page, and we thank them for making this podcast possible. And now, back to our episode.
Welcome, everyone, to another incredible episode of the Soul Twin Stars podcast. I'm Peaceful Nik, the medium, a medium divine, and I am joined by, and flying in on her rainbow broom, the glorious and wonderful, magnificent Lady Shadowe. Hello, Lady Shadowe. Welcome, welcome, everyone.
Hi, my magical BFF. How is everything going this week? I love that we are in touch throughout the week, but it's always fun to catch up here so that everyone can hear what is in our glorious brains.
In my glorious brain, we have had wonderful rainbows. We've had so many autumnal storms since the autumnal equinox, and the clouds are on one side of the sky and the sun sets on the other side, and we've had the most beautiful rainbows. It's actually hard to believe we've had so many beautiful rainbows in the last week or two. And I love rainbows because they're so beautiful. They're such a wonderful part of science and nature and beauty, and it just give me such a sense of peace and serenity. Anytime I have a moment to look at anything in nature that brings me peace, I take that moment and treasure it. How about you?
Girl, I love me some nature. You know that. I go out barefoot every day. I star watch. I sky watch. I sun watch. Love it all. I'm really loving the nature aspect of living just outside of New York City because it's, peaceful and quiet. And I still obviously have to go into the city regularly because I'm working on a show right now. But I absolutely agree. When nature shows up, you listen. That's the rule, because that's our call to our organic selves, and it's very important. Divine moment, is that your divine moment for the week? All your rainbows? I'm so jealous.
That is my divine moment. How about you? Do you have any divine moments?
Well, I would say a couple of things happened really cool this week, but the major one would be that my rehearsals are going absolutely swimmingly for this new show. I've been buried deep in the afterlife and its research, writing it, creating this show for the stage. It is a fictional play, dramatic, comedic in parts, but the rehearsal process has been absolutely wonderful because we got really great actors to play their roles. And every time I go to rehearsal, I'm floored by the talent. So that is my grateful divine moment that these actors are bringing my work to life in perfection. And then secondly, I had a really interesting thing happen. I'm kind of doing some healing work in different frequency over here on my own for some people. And the coincidences are showing up strangely in the real world. And those people are receiving the frequencies. And I've had some proof of that this week. And it's been really cool to watch that firsthand. It just goes to show you that whether you hold somebody in prayer or you hold somebody, that you've lost contact with, if you start thinking about them, bringing them into your mind, body, your spirit, and the love you have for that relationship or that friendship that they hear somehow, the soul hears and gets that message to that person. And so that kind of happened last week, and that was really divine for me.
That is absolutely wonderful. And I know you have a lot on tap for magical tools tonight. And I am looking forward to learning a lot about this because even though I'm a medium, I don't use a lot of tools for my mediumship. I was not trained to use tools, so I just never really did. I have purchased a wonderful and beautiful crystal ball, and that has really been wonderful to connect with and instilling my energy in it. It is not necessary for mediumship. It is a nice focal point. So for those of you wondering why mediums and psychic use crystal balls, it's a great focal point. I burn sage, so I'm sure you're going to talk about that later as well. But I don't do it all the time, just occasionally when I feel like I need to clear the negative space. So what do you have? Are these tools for specific modalities or are these tools for anyone? What do you have to tell us? And I have like a million questions, so I hope everyone's ready.
Of course. So these are tools that anyone can use as a white Wiccan. Again, I want to explain white Wicca specifically versus regular Wicca. Regular Wicca is supposed to also be done in light, but unfortunately, I have to specifically say white Wicca, which is all based in love, which is love, peace, and harmony with others and the earth. Now, traditional Wicca speaks to one mantra, and that is do no harm. But unfortunately, some people can manipulate that just as they do in the Bible and say, well, I'm not doing harm by doing this, this, and this. So therefore, that doesn't fall under the jurisdiction of harm, but it does, especially if you're taking away someone's free will or you're manipulating something for a purpose that you want for yourself, but it's not necessarily good for the other person. So you have to think about any magic or energy work that you do needs to be done and completed for both sides' best good, right? Highest love. Always, always. That's my rule. And that should be anyone who practices on this path. That should be the general rule. Unfortunately, like I said, people invert, twist, and do what they're going to do. But on my Wiccan altar is basically crystals, incense, candles, the standard thing that most people who connect with spirituality might purchase in a new age shop. Nothing scary, right? It's not demonic. There's no cups of blood on my altar or bones, graveyard dust, nothing weird. It's your standard peace, love, harmony. So we're going to talk about the different types of gemstones for one that you can use for both healing your body and mind and spirit. And then we're going to talk about the magical purposes that could be used with that. Again, love-based only. We're going to go over some essential oils, which also can be translated to incense flavors and what those do for your aromatherapy senses. And we're going to talk about candle colors because, as you know, as a scientist, colors actually vibrate certain energy and
Yes.
different for different reasons. So when you burn a certain color candle and then you set an intention with it, you can actually get results based on those specific intentions based on colors. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So we're just going to break up this beautiful hour kind of going through spiritual tools that you can use. And like you said, you don't necessarily use them on the regular. I don't even use them on the regular, but sometimes using a tool to ground yourself when you are in a meditation, or if you're looking to heal a part of your body, that when we do use the earth and its elements and its gifts in a way that can balance our bodies, it can only help a situation, help keep you calm, help keep you in placebo. You know the placebo effect.
Yes, very well.
So if
Yes.
if you're using tools just for placebo, it can do wonders for you. And then, of course, the aromatherapy, right? We have all these senses for a reason. We should be using them to balance ourselves and to whatever it is that we can use, what's at our disposal, whatever we relate with the best, then those are the items that we should kind of have lingering around to help us get through the rough times. So with that note, we'll start with gemstones. So have you ever worn, for instance, a quartz or a moonstone on your body, or other than just for looking at it? I mean, I know that you know about quartz. Tell me what you know about quartz, and I'll tell you how close you are about that.
I know only geological things about quartz, but I have a clear quartz here that my son and daughter-in-law gave me. And it says the master healer and energy transmitter amplifies energy of all other stones and brings light of the stars to the soul. And speaking of that, I want to mention this. Our all of the stones on earth, all of the quartz, all the diamonds, all whatever, rubies, it doesn't matter. Everything on earth came from a star, actually many, many stars that exploded billions of years ago. That is a scientific fact. Nothing on Earth is of Earth. It all came from fusion of stars and explosions of stars. So when we say we are made of stars, we and everything on Earth is literally made from stars. So not only do these gemstones have certain energy frequencies, but they came from stars that exploded billions of years ago. And to me, that just makes it so much more beautiful.
And not only does it make it beautiful and magical, but it makes it quantum like everything
Yes.
else, right?
Yes.
So things that you hold near your body that are pure and quantum and magical like that can literally change, again, just like your thoughts can change the energy balance, can change your mindset. And using the senses, the touch, the taste, smell, sight, hearing, and then of course your sixth sense,
Mm.
using all of that together with physical items. And that's why it's so important that Wiccans play and have tools. It's just an extra way to kind of ground and channel something. Everything we all know is already in the ethereal. It's already in the frequency. We are frequency, but because we are in a physical world, just like we need a car to go to the store, sometimes somebody wants a wand to swirl some energy around. Or like when you burn sage, for instance, we Wiccans might take our wand and go around while the sage is burning and take our
Mhm.
crystal quartz tips and just spread it around a little bit. And then, in a clockwise motion, kind of shoo out an energy right out the door or the window.
Yep.
And yeah, so same exact thing. So yeah, let me go through the top amazing gemstones, and I've got even more than these because gemstones, you might be attracted to one for jewelry, for fun, or just the colors, and they all have significant healing properties and meanings. But I'm just going to go through the top 6
Okay.
must-haves
That sounds
because
good.
they're so potent.
Okay.
So clear quartz, you're right, is considered the master crystal because you're right, it amplifies energy, it clears blockages, strengthens immune system,
Listen, I didn't
balances.
come up with any of that stuff on my own. I read it off the package. So don't give me too much
No,
credit.
no. That's actually it's all true. It balances chakras, it holds intention because as you know, Quartz holds memory. And let me tell you about some of the amazing uses in science that quartz is used for. When you apply pressure to quartz, it actually generates an electrical charge, right? And this is why we're curious about what lies beneath the pyramid. So quartz vibrates at this very stable frequency. And so you can store, transmit, and regulate information through it like a tuning fork. It's really amazing. So it's used in binary encoding, it's used in silicon, computer chips. They make these wafers, right? These little silicon wafers.
Teeny tiny, itty bitty.
Tiny, 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 like flat and clear. And data gets written into that by rearranging the electronic charges within this crystalline matrix. It's freaking so cool how
and
that
the amount
works.
of stuff that it holds is unbelievable.
Yes, yes. And then quartz glass can be becomes fused silica, and that can be structured with these laser pulses to like store digital data like in layers inside the crystal. So it's like crystal inside crystals. And this is considered 5D optical data storage, which
Wow.
it's mind-blowing. Like when you talk about the quantum entanglement, right? How two particles, no matter how far away, like Bluetooth pairing, this is the physical version kind of that. So it's absolutely scientific. It's nature's hard drive. It's in real hard drives. It's so important. So having some crystal clear quartz, the clearest and purest you can get, really helps with amplifying energy, clearing blockages, memory. You can actually charge a crystal to hold an emotion for you. It's pretty extraordinary. Or if you have a crystal quartz necklace that you want to hang from, near your heart, and you want to be touching it, and maybe if you have a very specific intention, like to get a better job or to find love, just grab onto that crystal and tell it, send me love, several times a day, and it will hold that for you. And the fact that it's resting near your heart is super powerful.
Is that why people put crystals in their bra?
Yes, yes, that's one of many reasons. The other is quite perverted. No.
No, I was not going there.
No, I was talking. Oh, yeah, bras. Yes, it is. Keeping certain gemstones near your heart, near your organs, it has health properties too. So, I mean, again, whether it's magical or health or energy, everybody uses these things differently. The next one is amethyst. And again, you can get these stones polished or unpolished. The polished versions are cleaner and prettier and can be shaped in whatever way you want. But there's also a place for the raw stuff too. So if you like a nice rough gemstone or a big giant piece of something in your hand to play with, to massage with, some people like the surface of these stones, pre-polished. But amethyst is for calming the nervous system. It actually aids in insomnia, balances mood swings, and supports sobriety, believe it or not. So they make these little sober stones in amethyst if you are working with addiction issues and stuff. And again, people carry different stones for different reasons, but that's kind of cool. Magically, amethyst is great for psychic protection, dream work, connecting to higher realms, spiritual clarity. It's another really powerful, beautiful one. It's pretty easy to find anywhere, literally. The next one is one of my favorites. Now, it's funny because citrine is like a topaz color mixed with like a clear quartzy looking swirl. It's really pretty. I don't like yellows and browns, but citrine is such a powerful stone to have around to use that I can't not have it around, even though I don't particularly like the colors of it. I'm more of an amethyst and a fluorite kind of girl. But the citrine is, it's got a lot of health properties. So that one is digestion, metabolism, combating fatigue, and uplifting mood. And then magically, it's really good for prosperity. Ooh, prosperity, also boosting confidence. So before a job interview, or if you're looking to get a promotion or manifest big abundance, a raise, or a different type of career, citrine is another great one, for manifesting creativity and next level. Then fluorite is so beautiful, such another super powerful gem. It is It comes in several different colors, actually. And I love the mint green purple combo, but you can get them in several colors. So if you're really curious about this one, pop on Amazon and go look at the different types of fluorite that's out there. It's so beautiful. Healing health-wise, detoxifies, boosts concentration, supports bone health. It even eases vertigo. Sometimes if I'm having a little dizzy spell, I'll take one of my stones and put each one on 2 temples or behind my ears. And fluorite for magical purposes would be mental clarity, aura cleansing, psychic shielding, harmonizing chaotic energy. I say get one of each of these, because having all this around for different moments in your life, whatever you're needing at the time, a great grounding tool. Just grab one. Keep them in your pocket. Keep them in your purse. You know how
Keep
some
it in
people
your bra.
or in your bra, or in your underwear. Some
That
people,
might hurt.
a lot of my stones are flat and smooth. So, like little pancakes,
Oh,
that would feel
okay.
just fine in your underwear. They warm up fast.
That reminds me, there's a meme where young men ask and they show women's panties and the little pocket, the little cotton pocket, and they're like, "What is this for?" And women answer with the craziest freaking answers. It's hilarious. So that pocket, young men, if you're listening, is for our crystals.
That's right.
Keeps them
Crystals
nice and warm and smooth.
and aromatherapy. You know what it is? It's a potpourri pouch. Oh my God. That's hilarious. Yes, but these come in all shapes, people. Like
All shapes and
all shapes of
sizes.
gemstones. Yep, they come flat, they come pointed, they come in the shape of a nice erect man. The last two, so rose quartz is the next one. That's another really great one. It looks similar to amethyst. That also is similar to basic quartz, basic powerful quartz. It's also a love attracting gem. It's for also self-love, self-compassion, forgiveness, softens energy in any space, lowers stress, eases heartache, and support circulation. So just think rose quartz is the color of the lightness of your heart, the lightness of being anything heart circulation. That's where that belongs. And then black tourmaline is super helpful. This is another big one because it wards off negativity, psychic protection, grounding rituals, shielding from EMF energy. So that's for the magical properties. And then as far as health, you have a grounding of your nervous system helps with that. Like let's say you're going for a job interview and you're really nervous. It's a great grounding stone to have in your hand to take away all of your stress and anxiety. Or let's say you're going to H&R Block to get your taxes done. Just bring a nice piece of black tourmaline with you, or you're going to the DMV, keep it in your hand and just use it to ground yourself. It'll suck all the stress out of your body. It's good stuff. So that is kind of my top favorite gemstones. And if you're curious about any of them, that's clear quartz, amethyst, citrine, fluorite, rose quartz, or black tourmaline. You may go and check them out on the internet and look them up yourself at how beautiful they are. And you can put them in all shapes and sizes and all kinds of jewelry, or just leave them on your altar, or just leave them on your windowsill. You can, like I said, put them in your purse, wear your bra, your underwear, whatever. Listen, not my business,
In
right?
the special pocket.
The special pocket. What really goes in that special pocket? Like folded dollar bills? Like,
That the gemstones, we already solved that. We already solved that mystery earlier. The
well, you and
gemstones.
I, that's what we would see. I'm really curious about the non-spiritual communities, what they put in that pocket. Like I
So I have a very important question and on the serious note. And yes, Lady Shadowe and I have many, many laughs and make a lot of jokes, some of them a little off color, but hey, we're human and we live lives and the world is crazy and sometimes we just need to make a funny joke. So if you don't like it, you're gonna have to just deal with it or don't listen. That's fine by me. Anyway, a
it's called
series,
fast forward.
yeah, fast forward or whatever.
Don't leave the podcast. Just fast forward a couple seconds if you
Yeah,
can't handle
it'll
it.
be over soon.
It's only 59 minutes of your time once a week, but we're worth it.
But on an actual serious note, There are a lot of really scammy crystal websites out there. How would someone know? And what is the difference if you buy a cheap, crappy stone that's not a real piece of quartz or whatever, tourmaline, whatever it
Hmm.
is it going to make a difference in what you use it for? Is it going to affect the person? How are they going to know? And if they believe that the stone is doing what it's doing, does it even matter? Because the placebo effect again.
Exactly. Everything in this whole world assigns the meaning that you give it. Okay, so we all know that. However, there are more and less effective materials that can bring you the result better. So if you buy a stone from somebody off the street, like New York City, everything's a knockoff. They got stands for everything, knockoffs, knockoffs of knockoffs, and then real knockoffs. So if you go and you end up buying a really heavy piece of wood that's been painted like some amethyst or some fluorite, okay, well, might not necessarily feel like it at first because it's not as heavy, it's not as dense. And when you reach into your pocket for a gemstone, you know what you kind of know what that should feel like, right? If you I guess there are some people that have never gotten their hands in the mud or the dirt and have never felt a true gemstone, but it should be heavy, it should be cold, it should be dense, and wherever you buy it from should claim that it is 100% what it is. If you go on Amazon, for instance, where there's a really great return policy, I would say to use sellers there, check the reviews. If it comes in and it doesn't feel real, or you see the paint chipping off of it because somebody painted it, because that has happened in some instances, then you can send it back. So just use the return policy.
So, okay, when they go on a website, let's say they're buying a clear quartz and it's $1.99, right? Is that a red flag or do they cost $1.99? All the crystals I have been gifted to me, so I've never purchased one, so I don't even know what they cost.
Okay, so you can get gemstones relatively cheaply. You can get a piece of quartz for $1. You can get a larger piece of quartz for $10. You can get a big chunk that fits in your hand for about 40 or 50. So you can also go to your local metaphysical shop and support your mom and pop.
I
They
support that
generally
idea. I think we should do
yes,
that because
yes.
it's much better to do that, in my opinion.
If you can find a local shop. Some people don't have a store near them, but if you do have the choice, obviously, pop in, do some shopping, feel around. It's really fun to go into a spiritual shop. And even some Bible stores carry this kind of thing. But yeah, you can get a very reasonable price piece of quartz, amethyst, obsidian, citrine, wherever.
And
And
even science museum shops, a
yes,
lot of them.
exactly.
A lot. You don't have to get it at a witchy store or crystal store or metaphysical store. One of my most beautiful spiritual trinkets I've ever gotten is from the Science Center in Los Angeles, and it was a science museum shop. And it's
Right.
totally not a sciencey thing. It's totally a witchy object. And I was shocked to find it and I bought it as soon as I saw it. I'm like, that's mine. It's my favorite little object. I love it.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. It's mostly the packaging, and like you were gifted a beautiful package, right? With the stones laid out nicely in a box, right? With their meanings on them. So it's how people package them and market them is, I think, is the foot of the expense when you're purchasing them retail. And sometimes you can't necessarily pick up the stones that you're purchasing inside these packagings because it's meant to be appealing to the eye and be gifted. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a fake. All of these gemstones should have a nice weight and feel to them. So even a small piece will not feel light like wood. It will not feel like plastic. It definitely should have some weight to it.
And I'll say this. If you were a kid like me, I played outside a lot as a kid. I'm a kid of the 70s, and I picked up a lot of rocks. When we camped at Rock Bottom River. So I have I have had contact with lots of rocks and minerals in my life. And so if you've ever picked up rocks or pebbles, you know the difference between a piece of painted wood and a rock, right?
Right.
There's a
Right.
very distinct difference.
Absolutely.
Use your instincts and your
Right.
critical thinking.
Oh, I have been to flea markets, trust me, that are selling crystals, but it's really just resin. It's like
Plastic.
molten, right? It's swirled up resin that looks like a crystal, but it's absolutely not. It's definitely plastic. You can tell.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Scammers be scamming.
Scammers be scamming on all scams. Even just wandering around your yard next time you go hiking. I was raised in the Virginia City Highlands in northern Nevada, as you know, and we had a ton of obsidian, pyrite, quartz, found quartz all the time, crystal quartz laying around. It was great.
It's everywhere. Quartz
We
is
would,
like the
yeah,
most abundant crystal on earth.
yeah. So, I mean, when you are out hiking around, just pay attention, especially where there's a lot of rocks. It's fun to go digging around and check out the place that we live in this little pretty little physical world of frequency. All
Yes.
right, let's move on to candle colors.
Oh, I
Start
love that because color has frequency.
Color has frequency. Absolutely. Okay. Now speaking of fakes, let me just go through really quickly that when you are in like a really cheap dollar store, if a candle has been colored, you can tell that if it's a white candle that's been dipped in colors or if it's an actual wax solid candle color all the way through. So you definitely want to make sure that what you're buying is not a white candle with shitty wax just dipped into another color because underneath that you're burning white. So you're buying a red candle, and as soon as you light it, you see the white wax underneath. That's not necessarily going to fulfill your purpose if you're looking to do something magical with vibration because you're just burning a white candle. So I always look for a solid colored candle all the way through and through for magical purposes. And we all know, right? We all blow out the birthday candles and the cake. It's so funny because people want to demonize the Wiccans, for simply doing candle magic. But the
Listen, the
birthday
cat.
the birthday candle is your very first ritual ever that everyone will experience and nobody thinks twice about it,
Right.
right?
Well, they don't know. And the Catholic Church, I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school, taught at Catholic schools, went to a million Catholic masses, and they burn candles for everything.
Exactly.
The Advent candle is that you burn a candle once a week for a month before Christmas,
That's right.
and there's specific colors, pink and
That's right.
purple. And, so there are reasons these things didn't just, Christianity didn't just pop up one day and come up with all these great ideas. These are all recycled from previous methodologies.
From us pagans who were all natural in it, running around naked, screaming at the sky. That's right.
Yep.
All of it's borrowed and then repurposed, like you said, repackaged and put into something else. And then those people get to say, this one's okay, but the way they used it over there wasn't. The
Right.
Christmas tree. That was
Yep.
a pagan thing,
Yep.
bringing in the trees and the Yule logs and decorating it. And then the Christians came along and said, hey, I got a really good idea. Let's put lights and popcorn and other shit on it and call it something else.
My favorite when they put literal candles on the tree and would burn their houses down. Those were good times.
Or when they didn't burn the house down, that must have looked really beautiful, though. Like, I'm sure they got away with not burning their houses down a bunch of times because they were doing it for a long, long time before lights came along. Well, the scary thing is there are several Christmas tree fires every year still, thanks to these cheap ass lights that people put on them. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you just got to use common sense across the board, people. That's all we saying.
Yep.
Okay, so
Candle colors.
these colors, right, are so important to just like the colors in your home, right? They vibrate also an energy. And for those of us who can paint our walls, we obviously choose a color we like that brings us joy and we put it on our walls or our furniture or the colors that we wear. Same thing. We all have these preferences because we all fall into a vibe and an energy based on colors that we're attracted to, right? My house looks like a cotton candy unicorn threw up in it because I love pastel colors everywhere. Other people want to go simple beige. No judgment. But it's fun to learn the frequencies of colors and understand why you're attracted to what you're attracted to and why, right? So, white, obviously, take a guess what white would be for.
Purity.
Yes. Cleansing, new beginnings, spiritual clarity, holding space, opening your portals for receiving and giving. Absolutely. White is perfect for that. Black is the opposite, is to banish negativity, for protection, for keeping things at bay. Black is just the absence of color. That's all that that is. Not to be afraid of it.
And
Red?
white is the combination of all colors.
Exactly. Exactly. Amazing. I love that you know that. Um, Burning a red candle, not just for aesthetics, but it can ignite passion and sex magic and vitality and courage and life force. Yum, yum, all the delicious stuff. Green is obviously prosperity, abundance, money. You can also burn that for fertility and growth. Purple is one of my favorites because I love purple. Purple, baby blue. Purple is for psychic power, spiritual authority, wisdom, and opening intuition. So, if you want to get more psychic, if you, like, let's say you're looking into your crystal balls over there, Nick, right? And you want to burn a purple candle just to kind of extend your dimensions that you're playing in or exploring for your next mediumship reading. Purple is a wonderful color to have burning at the same time.
Well, that's funny because purple's been my favorite color my whole life. And
Me too.
behind my crystal ball, I have a painting I made called Astroflora, and it's a giant purple flower. I know those of you who are listening can't see, but this is what goes behind my crystal
That's
ball. It's a
beautiful.
purple flower with stars and planets and
Yeah, purple's a very special color, everybody. Burning purple, we're talking deep purple, solid purple again, not a white dip candle in purple, the real thing. Super powerful, along with whatever stone you've got going on near your body. We've got blue, which is really cool. Blue is like the peace offering to a person, a relationship. It's good for communication. It's good for emotional healing, truth telling. I love blue. Again, clarity. So if you're trying to repair a relationship or you're on the phone with somebody and things are getting a little volatile and you just want to keep the peace and keep the healing, keep a blue candle burning, a blue and white one. The other two favorites of my candle colors is yellow. Yellow is great for career motivation and creative ideas, changing of careers, new job, creativity and creative inspiration. Love the yellow, even though yellow is not one of my favorite colors in pastel. I don't mind it. So good vibe on the yellow. And pink would be for love, romance, all that yummy stuff. Just a little tip out there for anyone who's looking to burn some candles and didn't know the meanings of the colors before.
I love that. And I love, and I'll just say, you mentioned earlier that colors have frequency. And anybody can test this out going back to rainbows. So in the electromagnetic spectrum, which visible light, which is the light we see as humans, we see Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. That's the spectrum of colors that appears in a rainbow. And each of those literally have a numeric frequency value assigned to them. That is a very teeny tiny itty bitty portion of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. So there's so much more to this universe than we could ever possibly imagine. We just perceive a tiny sliver. So imagine just burning those candles with the purple and the red and the white and the pink and the green and the blue and those frequencies. And oh my God, my ear is ringing as I speak of this, what the possibilities are if we really set our intentions and set our mind to accomplishing all of these things just by understanding that we perceive a small fraction of an enormously vast universe with endless possibilities. All the frequencies are there. You just have to tap into it.
And it doesn't take months or weeks to do it. Everyone thinks, okay, I have to go through a training. I have to go through classes. I can't get from here to there quickly. But frequency moves like
Immediate.
that. Immediate.
Immediate.
Exactly. So as soon as you get the hang of it, it might be just a mental habit to clear the noise out of your brain. But again, using these tools, for some people, for many people, for most people, using a tool might get you there a little quicker to ground you and to get you in the mood. This is with anything, right? If you want to get in
Right.
the mood for something, you got to create the ambiance for it, because we are physical beings and it's hard for us to get out of our physical state. So using a conduit to do that is absolutely brilliant, whether it's, like I said, an incense, or the idea of a candle burning, or with candles, you get both. You get the visual and the sensual part, right? And then with the tactile, you can put a quartz in your bra. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. All these little things add to our experience to heighten our senses and frequency. Absolutely.
I have a question for someone who may be listening, who's just exploring their spirituality, just exploring these modalities, the candle burning, the crystals, etc., who may have friends or family members who are being critical or judgmental. And how could someone who's new to all of this and may not understand that they can stand strong in their convictions and be confident about it, what would you say to a youngling or a Padawan learner, as they say in Star Wars? What would you say to this person who's just exploring this and they need to, or they feel compelled to explain it to someone they love who's not understanding it?
You mean the idea of using tools that seem woo woo or satanic to somebody? Or just getting into the woo woo itself without going religious and having to explain the difference?
I think probably a little bit of both. I think there are people from both sides explored.
Yeah. Well, most of this that we're talking about tonight is mainstream knowledge. It's not like it's specifically magical. Just because I'm a Wiccan does not mean that my tools are any more scary or powerful than tools that anyone else can buy, that I use, that you can use in whatever way you wish, right? So wouldn't even call them tools. We can just call them sense heighteners, or, whatever lifts you out of the mundane. The more senses you're using it all at any given time altogether is going to help elevate whatever intention you're looking to do in your life, right? Or to complete, or to resolve, or to manifest.
I think a great analogy may be if you have never played sports before and your junior year in high school, you suddenly decide you want to play football, right? Or volleyball, whatever. And you have to start going to the weight room, right?
Got it.
You can't just jump out into the game. You have to go to practice. You have to develop your skills. You have to go to the weight room. You have to get stronger. You have to eat right. You have to sleep well. So these are all things to help you perform at the highest level.
Right. Even though we just said to everybody, it doesn't take that much ritual to get to the point where you're using these tools easily and with ultimate results, right?
Right.
So the hardest thing, I think, is shopping for what you're attracted to. And then once you have purchased some incense and some gemstones and you're wearing your crystals and you have to explain to your family and friends about the change, well, you're wearing the earth. You are connecting with your organic and higher frequency self. You are looking to create balance in your life using things that symbolize balance. Some people get coffee all day long. They have to hold their cup of coffee, right, for their grounding. It's a whole ritual. Like, let me get the coffee for a snack. Let me get coffee for breakfast. Let me get coffee after dinner. Some people with cigarettes, some people with their phones. There's a ritual. Hey, at 4 o'clock, I watch the news every day. right? So the phone is in the hand. It's the things that you choose to put in your vicinity that you interact with that bring you the highest amount of either joy or distraction. It boils down to the small choices. And since we're talking about spirituality on a spiritual podcast, I mean, if someone is looking to expand their journey and they're in a very conservative circle of friends and family, being your authentic self and saying these things are not satanic. I'm not a witch just because I have a piece of quartz in my hand. Just explaining I'm just a human being out there experimenting with items that I feel might raise my vibration or my mindset. I think always be true to yourself, open communication. Don't be afraid of judgment because you're going to get judged no matter what anyhow, whether you're using a new spiritual practice or you're not. So really do what makes you happy. There are several hundred companies that make wands, for instance, right? Magic wands. The Harry Potter kind, or the Wiccan kind, or the chakra kind, or just a pretty stick that has glitter on it. For me, I like to work with moving energy in my room or on my altar. So I have a beautiful wand that I made for free. I went out and found it, painted it, glittered it up, put a little handle on it, put a crystal quartz tip on it, and it's my little channeling device. It's just fun. I like playing with it, right? But I also love playing with toys. I'm an avid collector of toys, so I'm very tactile that way, right? But I spent nothing on that. But for those who want the experience of having and holding a wand, whether, like I said, it represents your favorite movie or it's just a pretty stick that you put glitter on, people use all kinds of decorative items around their house.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's spiritual or not, it's totally up to you and it should not be judged. So have fun with it. Just go out and just be you. Go out and play, feel things, touch things, smell things. Every time I go to the shampoo aisle, you see me in there sniffing all the shampoos. I love smells. I love the smells and the idea of smelling and taking in. Like, I'll be on a walk somewhere and I can tell when someone is washing laundry because the dryer will emit this wonderful smell of Tide and Downy, and you can tell almost which house uses which detergents by the smell coming out of their laundry vent. It's so funny. I love that.
If anybody's been to Disney World or Disneyland on Main Street, they're pumping out vanilla cinnamon, smells or whatever the smell is. It's like you walk in and the sounds are perfect, the scents are perfect, the sights are perfect. In the summer, the heat is not perfect, but they're trying to hit you with all the senses to make you feel like it's the happiest place on earth. So you can surround yourself in your own home with the sights and sounds and smells and feelings that make you happy. And everybody can do this. You just have to take a little time and know what you like and know what makes you feel good.
Well, and that's what takes us to our next section, which, speaking of aromatherapy and beautiful smells, this is a top essential oil guide for everybody that everyone must have. And we're just going to go over that really quickly because you can buy these anywhere. You can buy these at Marshall's. You can get them at Walmart, at health food stores too. Most health food stores, Whole Foods, they carry a whole line of essential oils, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I use them for both reasons, both health and for magical purposes. So eucalyptus, oh, so delicious. When Chris and I went to Morocco, eucalyptus was everywhere. Also in creams, as you know, they get that cooling feeling of eucalyptus is absolutely delicious. Everybody loves lavender for stress relief, sleep aid, skin healing, an anti-inflammatory herb. It's one of the top calming, wonderful herbs on the planet. Peppermint, same thing. Stress relief, headaches, digestion. Believe it, that's why they give you mints after dinner. Helps digest. So, same with mint tea. Boosts alertness. If I just didn't mention that, wakes you up. Peppermint is the herbal stimulant of beautiful herbs. Tea tree. I love the smell of tea tree as well. A lot of people don't. It's very strong, but it has wonderful antifungal properties. It's an antiseptic. It's for immune support, all kinds of wonderful things. Rosemary. That's another beautiful smell. When you're cooking rosemary chicken, oh, how the kitchen lights up all of your senses when that's going in there.
Yes.
Overall, that one improves memory, circulation, mental clarity. Those are herbs for health purposes. Now, for magical purposes, the big one, frankincense. So when you walk into a Catholic church, you're going to smell that frankincense. Everyone, I think, relates the smell of frankincense to a big cathedral, right? Every cathedral in the world burns frankincense, on and off, both for services and just has it burning in general. But it some people have a visceral reaction to it. Other people, it's peace. But overall, used for spiritual protection, ritual purification, and a higher realm connection. So there's kind of a reason for that, why they burn it in churches. Myrrh is a similar smell. It's for grounding and amplifying prayers. Sandalwood is great for meditation and psychic awareness. So you might want to take some sandalwood and sprinkle it on a purple candle. Patchouli and raspberry leaf are wonderful for prosperity. So if you are looking to make some money, you're looking for luck, you're looking for abundance, you can take a little silk bag and pinch some patchouli in there and some raspberry leaf and just carry that around, girl. And it'll make your purse smell really nice. Cinnamon, ginger, not just for cookies, but they speed up manifestation and attract passion. And men, oh my God, if you want to get your man excited, they love cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg. That's the combo. And a little bit of clove. That is the combo that drives men apparently insane. They've done these research studies. Those were the top 4 flavors that got men excited when they sniffed them. Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
As a witch myself who uses these tools only for love and grounding, y'all don't have to be afraid of any of this stuff.
Lady Shadowe, this has been an absolutely wonderfully informative podcast episode. I learned so much from you about all of these different parts of, the tools for everyday people. You don't have to practice Wicca. You don't have to be a medium. You don't have to be a psychic. Any little leg up helps us all get through this crazy life. I want to thank everybody for staying with us again through another episode. We wish you love, peace, and healing always. And we will see you in the next episode. Thank you all. We are eternally grateful. We love you all.
Thank you so much for joining us this episode for the Soul Twin Stars podcast. Find us on our podcast Facebook page for Magical Mondays live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, where we will help you magically slay your weekdays, and for awesome giveaways. For more information about what other spiritual things Nik and I do and offer, visit peacefulnikthemedium.com. That's Nik with just a K. Or to connect with me, Lady Shadowe, soulsandspirits.com is the place to go. If you want to be a guest on one of our shows, we would absolutely love that. Contact us at soultwinstars@gmail.com. See you next Friday. I'm on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Facebook, and on YouTube. Sending you all so many blessings. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, know that you are all cherished.